If you think July is too late to plant a garden, you would be dead wrong. There are so many things that we are still planting in July, especially here in Zone 8A, all the way from our heat-loving summer crops to our fall crops. Yes, I said fall crops. Welcome back to the garden, you guys. Today I'm telling you guys everything that I'm planting in my garden in July. I do live in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I am in Zone 8A, and we have a really long growing season here, thankfully. It's the beginning of July, which means we have like 4 more months of growing season, around 120-ish days. That is a really long time that we can still get in a second or even third round of some of our favorite summer crops. And then we're also going to be preparing for fall. I know that it's so hot. We're going through a heat wave right now, so fall is like not even on anyone's mind right now. But as a gardener, you do have to think ahead, and now is the time to start those fall crops. And I'm gonna be telling you which ones in a minute, but let's go over our summer crops first. These cucumber plants might look great right now, but like I said, we have 4 more long months of growing season left, and cucumbers are one of those crops that are notorious for getting powdery mildew. They have their big flush and then they kind of die off, and you can get multiple rounds of them. So I have this round going strong. I'm harvesting these cucumbers every day, but I want to think ahead, and I might want to go ahead and start another round of these right now so that when this vine is done and it dies off, I already have another round going and I can harvest cucumbers well into the fall. And if you haven't even started cucumbers yet, you know that it's not too late to start. You can start cucumbers now and you can get tasty cucumbers in the fall months. Cucumbers are one of my favorite things ever to grow in the garden. There are 2 types of cucumbers that most people grow, either a slicer variety or a pickling variety. They're both great for fresh eating. The difference is with pickling varieties, they are usually shorter, stouter, and they're way more crunchy because they have less water content than a slicer variety. Slicer variety is more for fresh eating. This one is called the Paraiso F1 hybrid from High Mowing Seeds. It's an amazing cucumber, has excellent disease resistance. It has been performing for me just like a hybrid should. It's also parthenocarpic. And then this one is the Excelsior F1 hybrid, also from High Mowing, also parthenocarpic, and it also has excellent disease resistance. So I highly recommend these 2. Next up, we've got okra. Okra comes from Africa. It is a heat-loving plant. While everything else is kind of slowing down in the heat of the summer, okra is kind of just getting started, just taking off. This is my okra. I planted it a little late this year, so if you're someone that has already gotten their first flush of okra and you want to get another round in, now would be the time to do that. Again, if you're behind and you haven't even planted it yet, now is the time to plant it. Get it in the ground. I actually might pop in an extra few seeds since I've harvested my carrots over here in this bed. There's some empty space. I can just go ahead and pop in a few more okra, and then that way I'll have more okra for the fall. Okra is a really quick growing crop. I think it's seed to harvest in like 45 days. I only planted this not that long ago and it's already putting out its first little flower right here. So I am going to be harvesting okra soon. My favorite variety is going to be Clemson Spineless, just because I'm allergic to the spined varieties of okra. It gives me like contact dermatitis on my skin. So I am only allowed to plant a spineless variety. This is my garden bed where I have sweet potatoes on one half and I have corn on the other half. And that brings me to my next 2 crops. If you haven't planted your corn yet, go ahead and plant it ASAP. If you've already planted a round and you want a round 2, get it in the ground. Sweet potatoes, this is your final and last call. You want to get those in as soon as possible. Ideally, it would have been June, but there's a little bit of wiggle room there. I think that the beginning of July isn't too late. I planted mine a little later than I wanted to anyways, but they're coming up and they're looking great. Sweet potatoes can really handle a lot of heat, and their greens are edible. Unlike regular potatoes, whose greens are poisonous, sweet potatoes have edible leaves and they're quite good. They taste just like spinach. And so you get a heat tolerant green and a tasty root all in one. If you would like to see me plant this entire bed out, check out this video. Next up is summer squash. This is one of my zucchini plants. Unfortunately, it and all of the other ones are not going to make it because here in North Carolina, we have something called the squash vine borer. It is such a pesky little pest that quite literally kills your plants from the inside out, and you don't know that your plant has it until it's too late. It's actually awful. If you know, you know. This plant has squash vine borer. It's not gonna last much longer. So I am gonna be planting another round of summer squash. Planting summer squash in July is actually favorable for those of you that deal with squash vine borer, because with the squash vine borer life cycle, they are gonna be preparing for winter in July. So they are gonna be preparing to overwinter, going into the soil. They're just not gonna be around at the end of July. And so I always like to do a huge planting of summer squash at the end of July. And last year I actually had 0 issues. I had 0 summer squash die from squash vine borer that were planted in July. And so while I do like to go ahead and plant it in spring and just get the zucchini that I can, my main summer squash crop is always in the fall. Summer squash are incredibly easy to grow, minus the squash vine borer issues, but they also are really, really fast growing. A lot of them are ready from seed to harvest in as little as 40 days, anywhere between 40 to 50 days, depending on the variety. So that's why July is perfect. Even August, you can get away with starting some summer squash. Now, winter squash, which is what I have behind me, I've got Chomonchino and I've got Seminole pumpkin growing on this squash trellis. I would say that in July, you can get away with it. It's very, very, very last call for winter squash. Like, you can get it in. It should have been yesterday. So if you're thinking about it, like, do it right now. Go outside right now and plant them. Don't forget about it, because it is very last call. And if you are gonna plant winter squash in July, just be very aware that although it may produce a ton of squash throughout the next 4 months, they may not be able to cure on the vine in time before our first frost. You may have to cut them from the vine and just cure them elsewhere. So that's really the only downside to that. But I would say that you can get away with it, go for it. And a lot of people do plant their winter squash in July so that they have plenty of pumpkins come October when it is officially pumpkin time. If you are gonna plant winter squash, I would look for a variety that has as little seed to harvest time as possible. Some varieties are as little as 90 days I've seen, but a lot of them are like 100, 120. Some of them are even like 150. So when you're choosing variety, just be very mindful of that. Now let's talk about bush beans. I have loads of bush beans here, and bush beans are definitely a quick growing crop that you want to succession sow in July, even in August. They will just keep going. I replant them once a month in the growing season and just keep them going. I like to plant bush beans in the dead areas, kind of beneath tomatoes or beneath cucumber vines, or just anywhere that you see a spot and you're like, wow, I really wish that had something growing in it. Plant bush beans. I wouldn't go for pole beans. Those take a little bit longer to mature. Bush beans are way less maintenance. They grow like crazy. They're super prolific and they're really quick growing. They don't need any support. I couldn't ask for anything better for something that is just really quick and I can just pop the seeds right into the dirt in July. One of my favorite varieties this year that I've been growing are the Ferrari bush beans from Botanical Interest. They are very slender, they are stringless, they're delicious, they're really tender. I love them. Bush beans are one of my absolute favorite things to grow all the way into the fall. Now let's talk about herbs, starting with dill. If you grew dill in the spring, you probably have some of these seed heads that are dried up, and you can just pluck them right off, and you have a bunch of dill seeds that you can re-sow for the fall. And July is a great time to do this. I just like to do this right here, take all of these seeds off, and then I am going to sprinkle these anywhere that I would like some fresh dill for the fall. You might also be noticing that your basil is starting to flower. Now is a great time to succession sow your basil to get another round for the fall. You can also just pluck these flowers off to stimulate more leaf growth. I really need to use all of this beautiful basil. Look at how beautiful this is. My favorite variety of basil to grow is called DMR 51 or Prospera basil, and I usually get that from High Mowing Seeds. By now, you might be noticing that your sunflowers that you planted in the spring are blooming, they're beautiful, they are going to seed, and then they're gonna finish up their life cycle, they're gonna kind of die off. I have a lot of sunflowers right now in my garden that are drooping over, they're finished. I miss them. And so I want to go ahead and plant another round in July so that I have some nice, big, beautiful sunflowers for the fall. I feel like sunflowers are a really great fall kind of aesthetic to have around. Some other flowers that are quick growers that are great to plant now are zinnias. A lot of my zinnias I have noticed have started to get powdery mildew. It's very common with zinnias, and it's a good thing that they're so quick growing and we can plant multiple rounds of them. You can go ahead and get another round of cosmos in. At the end of July is a great time to go ahead and plant some calendula. Calendula are cooler growing flowers. They appreciate the cooler weather of the spring and the fall, so go ahead and get your calendula in. There's like a whole other list of more flowers that you can start. You can go ahead and start snapdragons, you can start straw flowers. Just go ahead and get another round of all of your favorite flowers in. All right, let's finally talk about fall. At the end of July, we really want to start planning out our fall garden, and if you're starting things from seed, there are a few things that you want to go ahead and start indoors. That's your brassicas. So things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, we want to go ahead and start those indoors at the end of July because they take a while to kind of get going. They take about 8 weeks until they're transplantable, and 8 weeks is putting us right in September, which is the perfect time to transplant them out into the garden for fall. So that's why we start at the end of July, even though it's hot. We haven't even hit our hottest month yet, which is August. It's like, why are we thinking about fall? But we have to like prepare and always think ahead as gardeners. Gardening is thinking about the future and preparing for a future. So that's what we're doing with our fall stuff. You can also go ahead and start some carrots. You can direct sow some carrots. Carrots take upwards of 3 weeks to even germinate, and so they really are slow to get going. And so the end of July is the perfect time to go ahead and at least get your first round of carrots. I continue to succession sow my carrots all throughout fall, but I will go ahead and start right at the end of July. Some of my favorite brassicas that I'm going to be starting at the end of July, we've got to have dinosaur kale. This is a favorite. I actually have this growing in my garden right now. It's lasted all throughout the spring. I planted it in part shade and it hasn't bolted yet. So fingers crossed, maybe that'll make it into fall, but I'm still going to start some more just because I love this kale so much. I am also going to be going with the burgundy broccoli again from Botanical Interest. I've grown this many times. It's always a crowd pleaser. It always grows really well. Love it. You guys know I have to grow the Napa cabbage again. I grew Napa cabbage for the first time ever this spring, and I made my very own kimchi. You can check that video out here. I'm going to be definitely growing more of this in the fall so that I can make more kimchi because the kimchi is just so good. And then for cauliflower this year, I really want to try this variety from Renee's garden. This is called Fioretto. It says that the cauliflower forms loose heads, so it doesn't form like one big dense head. It's kind of like the cauliflower version of the broccolini or asparabrac, something like that. Very interesting. I've never grown that before, so I really want to try this out. I hope you guys got some inspiration for what to grow in July. Obviously, we're still out here growing things, even through a heat wave. It's 100 degrees, humidity is 80%. We're still out here. We're still growing things. Let me know what you guys are growing. Let me know if I missed anything, if there's something you're growing that I'm not. Let me know in the comments. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit the notification button to be notified of new videos. You can find me on all the things, and I'm also on Substack. I also have a podcast called The Garden Girls Podcast, and we put out new episodes every week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.